would know for them as one of their stronger maps. I agree, pulling away from Curse, you got to question whether or not going to BOE is going to be the strongest. I think that just shows confidence more than anything. I wouldn't look at it and say I think that's a bad idea. Pulling away from Curse was really good, but moving into BOE, it just shows a lot of confidence. Now prove it, that it was worth that. You are, really that good that you aren't even worried about Naventic on debatably their best map.
All right, so Battlefield of Eternity, we're heading in there. Draft-wise, probably going to see a lot of Ragnaros, but do we see Medivh here again?
I don't think so. I think we'll see no Medivh. We'll see Artanis. Li Ming will be very high value. Other than that, I don't think we'll see anything too crazy. I do wonder who Glaring's going to play on this map. That a lot of his heroes drop in value. I think Zeratil's really the only one that stands out to me as that, and I don't even view it as like objectively that good. It's just that it can work with pick style of plays on this map.
He did sort of the same thing before where he picked Zeratul and then ended up doing more of the split soaking. He got caught a couple of times, but in that time, his team were able to take the Immortal. So we'll see if that's still the method that that Glaurung goes into. His new name should just be Zeratul at this point.
I mean, it kind of feels like it is, a little bit. Draft, though, what changes? I think this is where Naventic makes a really drastic choice in the draft.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I really feel like they're going to kind of go 180 a little bit in this game on their drafting.
What's been interesting to me is how much emphasis for Teammate has been placed on shield givers like Tassadar, Medivh, Zarya. 16 of their 20 games in HGC up to this point, this is the first time they're playing this weekend, have had one of those three heroes, but now switching it up, given the new meta or just making these adjustments and not having a single one and being very confident and saying we don't need Medivh. We don't need one of these shielders in order to still be able to win.
Yeah, it's working out for them. And on this map, probably one of the better ones. Naventic, in fact, is going to snipe the Zeratul away from Glaurung, so now putting him on one of his other heroes. Again, Medivh could show up, but a little less value. If there is a Medivh, I really hope there's a variant behind it if the teammate moves in that direction here for the draft. Vala and Li Ming, though, still up. Malfurion is available as well. Malf is going to be picked here probably by teammate just purely to deny. Not only is Malf really good, but also Zeratul Malf is absolutely terrifying. And then I'm guessing it's going to be a Li Ming. I think that would be the route. They don't want Li Ming, Malf, and Zeratul on the opponent side. Not only is that a deadly trio, but every single one of those, this is one of their better maps minus the Zeratul too. It's actually, those are a scary trio on like maps like Curse and stuff, but it only spikes in value on BOE.
Plus Malfurion is teammates' supportive choice, just in general. But Varian, Li Ming, Varian is continuing to be just climbing higher and higher in the draft preference for Team 8 and following up with some damage, making sure that they have damage for the Immortal fights.
Li Ming Malf again. Excuse me, with Li Ming picked up, I think Vala and Malfurion is where we see Naventic going. The variant pick, though, does help Team 8 because now they can pick Medivh and it be a little bit more justified. The problem is that they're still looking at a secondary ban. So now Naventic, when hitting their second ban phase, they have to decide if they think that is that big of a concern. And actually, they're already, kind of drifting away from what I would typically see, what we've seen across the board on BOE and NA. And going with the ETC, this high in value, now means that, again, they're not going to have, they're either losing out on the Malf or they're losing out on the Vala.
Well, it seems like since there has been so much focus in the drafts the previous two games from Teammate on Warriors, that Team Naventic have had enough with that. They want to make sure that they get the Warrior of choice here, given that they already can't get Varian with that early emphasis pick from Team 8. So ETC Malfurion will leave Team Naventic on the back burner a bit with range damage, but does leave them well-rounded with the damage dealer as well as their warrior and support.
What does Team 8, in fact, want to remove, though? If they... Ooh, this is a tough spot. What do they want? More than anything for their draft, they need, again, I think they want to move... What is hero is Glaurung going to play? And I think it's going to be the Medivh. And if Naventic doesn't ban it... They ban out Sylph. Okay, so does Naventic ban the Medivh? I think this is a huge turning point. I personally almost think that if Team 8 gets a Medivh variant, there's no way Naventic wins. Even though Medivh doesn't complement the map that well, it's just, it fits teammates' playstyle way too much, and they're that far ahead at this point. Did they just experience the last game? They're that far ahead in terms of skill level. So I genuinely think that focusing the Medivh would be the highest value, even though Li-Ming Vala, you're like, oh, look at the race. Oh, it's going to suck, and it's going to hurt, and if they go in that direction. But it is almost unforgivable if they allow, that much pressure into the composition of Teammate.
How much are Naventic scared for any of other Glaurung's picks, like a Tracer and Illidan?
Like Tracer, there is no major shielder. Illidan is not that good on this map. It doesn't win the race. Again, it's about open area, and it does okay there. Zeratil's a soft answer. Like, there's a lot of tools to be able to deal with the other ones. They aren't useless. They just don't thrive that well. And with the variant pickup, the Medivh is the next most valuable.
And what about Greymane?
Oh, that is true. Unstoppable on that one. I would let, if that's the route they're going to go. Greymane is the only one I forgot about that actually would fit the map that well. That is a good point. But still, we'll see. We'll see. This is a weird moment for Naventic. They are making changes. Not as drastic as I thought they would. Teammate, going with the variant priority a little bit higher than they have in the past. That allows all the DPS. Banning out on the medic, though.
Teammate will pick Karzim.
Yeah, it just...
Naventic know that.
So then, is Naventic looking to out-sustain somehow, Teammate?
Well, it's about damn time.
Interesting.
Maybe more lockdown? There's no cleanse? Going at it from that approach?
Yeah, that could be, the thought is now with, having Teammate having no cleanse until possible cleansing dash at 16. How do we capitalize on that? But I think... I don't know. This whole draft has made a lot of weird steps and changes for the teams. But more than anything for Naventic, they're going to go into the Tyrande. Okay, and they're going to pick up the Vala at the very end. So a lot of crowd control. Found it. That's a Medivh.
All right, the Medivh makes its appearance once again with Tychus and Li-Ming as damage, even Karzim a little bit to back it up. For Teammate, Team Naventic. Busting out Tyrande again. Another Tyrande pick, this time not B-Step who's going to be wielding her, or Superstars. Man, it's getting crazy in here.
It's just, I don't know how Naventic wins this game. Like, they've made changes, at least when it comes to the draft. But again, it's that Medivh and the variant duo. They had to expect it. It's been so powerful on any map. And then allowing it again here with only Malf and Tyrande as the backline. Medivh is a soft answer, the best answer to Tyrande comps with the kill potential early on. And then drop the portal, reinitiate. That is the story here. It's going to be very frequent. Like, Naventic has the moment, and if they get a pick, they have to snowball. Like, they cannot wait. It's just got to go, 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 go. But I just feel with the leagues that we've seen of Teammate, like how good they are at playing. Now they're playing their play style, and it's a soft counter to what we see the changes of Naventic's draft. I just don't see a window.
It all comes down to if Naventic can get those picks. If maybe Glaurung just isn't there with his Medivh shielding, if they can get some kills, maybe reset stacks from Master's Touch.
It's got to be something.
Use the time that they have without cleanse from Karazim, but it does come down to picks from Naventic. We have seen this happen for teams before. This has happened for B-Step before, where they put all of their cards into one pile, and that pile is picks. But does it work for Naventic being down 2 games versus one of the top teams in North America? That's being Team 8. We're going to find out. Let's head into game number 3 on Battlefield of Eternity between Team 8 and Team Naventic.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so we are on Battlefield of Eternity here, guys. Again, Team 8 being up 2-0, possibly going to be able to take the series here with this game. When it comes to talents at level 1, everything is what you would expect considering the map. We do see, focus into the passive there on the Tyrande. For Naventic, rather than going with the full Aloe build like we saw in the last series. And then, Q build Vala. Big impact, in fact, is going to be that Tyrande player. Interesting.
Tomster's playing Vala so that Zuna can be back on his Zeratul.
Yep. That was a little bit of what we talked about yesterday. With Zuna, every time there's a Zeratul, Zuna typically is going to be the person playing it. Just because he feels so like he can carry off of the hero.
On the other side, Prismatis is only the one playing Tychus.
Oh my goodness, is that seriously the top lane matchup we're looking at?
Li-Ming!
Is that a Li-Ming versus Zeratul 1v1?
Medivh will make that a less of a thing.
I've never seen that kind of matchup in my life.
I thought it would be Tychus.
I thought it would be too.
Especially since it's Prismat.
Yeah, it just makes a little bit more sense. Barry in there, getting caught out. He's going to be able to peel off the damage with the W. Medivh trying to float around, make sure nobody dies. Definitely, Naventic is at the point where they're the ones to be aggressive in the early game, and Team 8 is kind of just, you know, stopping the bleeding. They don't have enough wave clears, just don't get picked, wait for the Immortal, and then make things happen once 4's hit with the Medivh Warbringer charge. What do we call that one? We have Dine and Dash. What about the Warbringer?
Ooh, you know who would be the best to give us the answer for that?
I'm guessing the guys at home.
Yeah, why don't you use the hashtag HGC? Let us know what Warbringer plus Portal Warbringer, what you think that would that combo would be called. Dine and Dash is so good. Although I heard a lot of people be sad that we didn't pick the milk carton, but man, Dine and Dash is so good.
The Dine Dash is so good. I love it.
All right, first Immortal phase spawning in just a few seconds. Zuna has been pushed off of the top lane, and everybody's starting to head toward the middle. It's going to be the blue Immortal in the top. And with that positioning, all of Team 8 moving in to defend. Justing dives way far forward, again getting taken for a ride by a Zeratul. This time it's going to be Zuna. The defense will start for Team 8.
Defense is going to start. Prismat is going to soak on the bottom half of the map. Again, without the 4, Team 8's composition doesn't necessarily do that well. And Naventic's, as I said before, they're just permanently looking for any kind of fight that they can get their hands on. It's going to be a game of soak once more here for Team 8. Bong getting the soak, going to be able to mount up. Prismat transitioning his way towards the top lane because, again, they're defensive, so it makes sense. The safest lane for their teammate to soak is going to be the top lane, putting him as close as possible there. A bit of a, engagement here between Zuna and Prismat, but in the end, 4 is picked up now for Team 8. See if they make a play. There it is.
Charge the group behind is really nice. Beacon's going to go on in and have a power slide with a follow-up Lunar Flare, but still Justine stays alive, has to dive on top of Zuna, who's in the back. And he'll blink away after picking up the kill.
Yeah, not having Glaring there, which is the biggest, mitigator of all the damage coming out from their opponents there. Yoda's going to have to teleport out. Zuna is trying to put damage into Glaring. But yeah, so Glaring can't soak the way he's used to in this game, purely off of the Tyrande composition that his opponents have. Soak is great, but he is the only one who, kind of hits the pause button on their initiations, and it's very needed against this Tyrande comp. So we'll expect Team 8 to keep Prismat doing his thing, but then Glaring is going to be the one staying with the team, as you see now. He is getting that soak.
Searing Arrows for Tyrande, devoting more into her auto attack capabilities, along with Ranger's Mark to have Hunter's Mark up more often, and now with Naventic being halfway through the Immortal shielding, or the Immortal health already for Team 8, they're just going to finish off this Immortal. Team 8 do what they can to limit the shields, but it's still a fairly well-shielded Immortal.
Yeah, it is. It is enough to be able to gain a significant lead and set Team 8 here behind. Only going to be furthered by the fact that, again, the kill potential early on for Naventic is absolutely insane. But the question is who's going to be able to get the soak. In fact, Zuna is going to be volunteering there on the Zeratul, moving towards bottom soak.
And this is what Naventic needed to do. We talked about this. They have to get a lead. They have to win the first Immortal and snowball as much as they can off of that. Hope to have heroic abilities ahead of Team 8 and be able to get the next Immortal off of that and deal irreparable damage. So as Team 8 get further on into this game, they're just consistently behind. So Naventic doing all of the things that they need to do, just whether Team 8 allows them to get ahead in the soaking department.
And most of the time, that's really not going to be the case. Like, yeah, the front wall did go over, but again, the soaking on the side of Team 8 is kind of added up to be in a position where they're dead even with Naventic. And so, yes, Naventic wins the map objective, but again, because it is so weak early on, I think that's one thing that we see from Team 8 is they also value what map objectives are strong when compared to other teams. Like, they're comfortable with the first Immortal and Punishers willing to sacrifice those things, is that they realize, these guys don't really hurt that much up until this point in the game unless you have, insert this hero here. Sylvanas is a prime example. And so really it's kind of comfortable giving up those things as long as they get a little bit of soak here, a little bit there, and really that's a common trend with both the most successful teams in North America, Tempo Storm as well.
The bigger they are coming into play for Prismaticism, helping to push Beacon off of that cap point so that Team 8 could still get the Khazra in the top lane. Medivh has been split soaking in the bottom lane, and Team 8 are ready to make the rotation to there to help out. If they can get this lane push, even start taking down some of the towers here, then when they move back to their bruisers, then those will be able to push onto the fort. However, Naventic is further along in the push in the top lane just solely because they did get the Immortal up here earlier on, and so that'll be the first fort down in Naventic's favor.
Yeah, that actually is still, I think, a better situation for Team 8 just because their comp is waiting to 10 to fight, whereas Naventic thrives pre-10. Xuna actually going in there, getting the dismount. But again, so like if you can accelerate the experience, even if your opponent's going even, it's more about at what moment do you get to the fight, and that's going to be the 10. So even though that trade, losing the fort up top is going to be a weaker moment for Naventic, in the end, anything they can do to get 10 before the Immortal spawn is a good choice.
That's a calculated give up of the fort. Bruisers also grabbed for Team 8 and Naventic because they rotated straight down to see if they could get any kills from that push of Team 8. They don't have that. So now Naventic either sacrifice some of their members in order to get Bruisers or sacrifice instead some of the Immortals. Thankfully for them, because it's in defensive positions, they can kind of defend while at the same time getting their Bruisers. And as long as nobody from Team 8 finds out about this, which they're going to start to poke out ever so slightly, throw some damage down, see where Naventic are, doesn't get too much done, and Naventic will still get their Bruisers.
Yeah, that was optimistic placement and decision-making there by Naventic. It's going to give them a small reward. He did a lot of damage there from Justin with the charge there. Shaman Camp pressuring top, Shaman Camp pressuring on bottom. The difference is that bottom there's a fort, which means if that goes down and get the experience for Team 8 to be able to catch up into this game, whereas Naventic's looking towards that key front wall, and that, in fact, is a lot of experience as well. The race to 10 is going to be won here by Naventic, and Team 8 looks like they're going to back out and look towards that soak. This is the exact, like when the experience is the other way, that is the moment of weakness when it comes to Naventic, is that they aren't comfortable soaking. And actually them even backing out and soaking right now to make sure they get 10 does feel a little bit uncharacteristic of them in recent play.
Realizing another one, or case of where they have fallen apart in the past and making the adjustments for that. Now Naventic have fully forced Team 8 back into their base while Team 8 get heroic abilities, and knowing that we'll get the first half of this Immortal phase and may try to even get a pick before heroic abilities come online for Team 8.
Yeah, they know that they're all looking for the pick now, that Void was not forced. Vaughn gets the soak on bottom. The spawning of the Immortals is going to be in favor of Naventic, though, considering nobody's up there for Team 8. So this should be Naventic confirming it. But, you know, Team 8's not giving up easy. They're going to be able to move up. Only Vala hit on that in that small window there. I thought for sure they would all 5 collapse and, you know, kind of just burn it. But the fact that they only left Vala means that Team 8 has a window to be able to defend. And suddenly, Team 8's comp thrives. Also, Polybomb.
Suddenly, Polybomb.
Look at Polybomb's a thing. What does the Polybomb do over here versus Leyline Seal? It's going to help, obviously, when it comes to isolating and heal. It's going to be a follow-up to the taunt and allow them to be able to be killed by seven-sided, like possibly right there. But there's going to be the Void.
Okay, so Void Prison's down. V-Kid is on the back of that too. Would love to get a not mosh pit because he picked Stage Dive. So all of Team 8 walk freely out of the Starfall, and there are 2 very long cooldowns, especially Void Prison down.
Makes me, oh, Justin goes in. The taunt combo is going to land onto Kenma. Dies before Twilight Dream even makes it off Yoda. Ends up falling though. Xuna being able to get those picks. Big impact in the back. Stage Dive is going to have a small impact in this fight for now. Prismaticism in a tough spot on the retreat. Drops the portal. Nopes out with his team here, as now it looks like Karazim has already started there with the Iron Fist. A little bit of peel, coming out for Glorong. Just seeing the combo goes out. The taunt lands. Polybomb confirmed. Oh, they're not going to get it. 240 health. Can they stop Xuna?
That's the big question.
No, they
As
can't.
Singularity Spike goes in.
Oh,
Xuna still
no
going to get taunted
no
down. Xuna jumps in on top of the Immortal, but he will pay for it with his life.
That would have been insane if they denied him of that DPS. But again, the Polybomb, we saw one use of it there. I think a lot of it just comes down to having a counter momentum spell like Medivh always promotes, but then more than anything allowing them to be a vulnerable target where seven-sided strike can actually get onto them, be able to throw the pick. But I'm glad you had the same thought process I did. It's like, well, we hope we could see a mosh. Oh, well, we have Stage Dive.
Yeah, especially because we've already
Void.
seen how many Void mosh pits have been impeccable from the teams so far this weekend. So I just saw on like power side, I was like, okay, here we go for not the mosh pit because it's Stage Dive for V-Kid.
Yeah, that would have been such a pretty setup there.
Yeah.
With so few interrupts on the side of Team 8. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if the Stage Dive gets the value there, but that is going to be one attempt there as Stage Dive goes in. Justin just gets thrown around.
Pinball
Oh my
with
goodness.
Justin's life.
And
oh, Yoda nearly goes down, but instead the counter kill on to Zuna. And Team 8 are tying up experience. Bruce Madison is chasing down all of the members of Team Naventic. He does not care.
Shout out to Buds again, though. That play there to be able to get that heal and the 7-sided strike onto his team. Buds is quickly becoming one of my favorite support players in all of North America. Probably right behind June. He just everything he's making happen here onto the in the game to be able to carry for his team. It's been huge. Actually, all three of our top 3 supports have been good.
Our supports have been stepping up in a big way in North America. Like, a lot of the top KDAs for teams have been the supports because they're playing Karzim too. A lot of the KDAs are super high when they play their Karzims, and I agree. Buds is very impressive, and he has been ramping up every single time we see him play.
Portal plus charge could be a variant making a stunning entrance.
Wah, 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 wah. No, I love that.
I think I like it too. It is a literal stunning entrance. Yep. So that's a good one. What if Warbringer wasn't taken though? We can't call it a stunning entrance then.
No, but that's the whole point, right? Warbringer.
It's only the Warbringer edition. All right, that's the stunning entrance. Long's gonna drop the polybomb. There's gonna be the portal. He's gonna force the void. In fact, he won't.
It's a short cooldown though. It's no harm lost, really.
Oh no. With the polybomb, yeah, you throw that out any moment, you know.
All day, every day.
Per day.
Sheep all over the place.
I don't know what just happened.
I'd like to forget that moment as well, if that's cool with you.
I don't know, I blacked out. Zuna and friends here. That's going to be a 2-man Lunar Flare. Yoda goes in for the combo. Zuna eats a bit of damage. There's going to be the portal laid. 7-sided strike follow-up. No kills yet. Now Immortal's going to be spawning. Shaman Camp still pressuring for both teams in their respective lanes, and now teammates set their eyes towards the Immortal.
None of the huge heroic abilities for Naventic were used, and that's pivotal for them in that way of getting out of the tough situation. Only cleanse to make sure that they could get B-Kid out of the polybomb taunt mess that was there for Team 8. Now polybomb is back up. 7-sided strike, the only thing that's not up for Team 8 because they didn't use Odin, which is really the only gigantic long cooldown on the side of Team 8. So both teams still more than happy to get into a fight.
Master's Touch sitting at that 50% mark for Glorong. Yoda going back to be able to get the damage onto the Immortal here. It looks like Naventic considered a tap, 14. So small stats advantage for a small time here. For Team 8 is a big orb, throws out 3,000 health difference here between the Immortals. Bud's under a bit of poke. 7-sided strike is going to be dropped along with B-Kid. Twilight Dream ended up being used. Varian's in a tough spot. The Deep Portal comes out. Medivh shield's going to be there for Buds. And what does Medivh do at this point, you know?
Doesn't save Tychus. So 1 for 1 for Team 8.
I spoke too soon. That's a very good point.
Void present another portal though, gets Li-Ming out of danger, but although Team 8 did get the first kill in that fight, there were a lot of low health bars. And that's usually something you want to see when you're the team with the Li-Mings. You can start to get those resets. In this instance though, Team Naventic forced the halfway point.
The dream. This is the dream for Team 8.
All right.
The fact that it had defensive positioning, even though they were the ones to be able to fall behind, allows them to, you know, a casual Buds back, and everybody's going to kind of go back to posturing, which is the window that, you know, Team 8 wants. 60 seconds for Void, 35 for Twilight.
Yeah, the heroic ability timers are way in favor of Team 8, how they're able to force out those long cooldowns. 20 seconds even until Starfall will be available for Tyrande again. So Team 8 feeling very confident here in their positioning around this Immortal, even being down initially in the health. We're going to put out the poke. The Odin comes in. Time, says Team 8.
Odin's there. You know, just pulling his arms back, shooting it up. That's going to be the Immortal now falling below 9,000 HP. 2,000 difference between them. Naventic trying to find a moment. Juno looking for the flank. Goes in onto Prismaticus. There's the shield. There's the taunt. Cleanse comes out now from Kenba. B-Kid moves in with the power slide. A lot of damage though going on to Tychus. Nobody's there to get the peel. Twilight Dream only hits Bud. Scrape is going to be dropped. The portal back and forth for Team 8. Cooldowns used on Naventic's side, but everybody still stands here for Team 8. Sadly, Tyrande doesn't anymore.
Justin goes straight in and executes Tyrande, but he will fall to the quick counter kill from Team Naventic. Now, these Immortals, the health is very, very close, but losing a Tyrande is not the worst thing in the world for Team Naventic. They still have Kenma on Malfurion, and he's fairly low on mana, but still making it work. And they still have B-Kid, whereas there is no variant. There's no big frontliner for Team 8, but that may not matter. They have Polybomb, and they have taken down B-Kid. They'll hit Zuna too.
They're able to get it, though. The portal goes in. Glaurung getting the damage out, forcing the Void. It's not going to end up hitting Glaurung, though, nor Buds, which only secures the death of his brother. And that is going to be Kenma falling down here. Team 8 has 16 talent tier advantage, 3 people dead for Naventic, but they have to get rid of this very healthy Immortal. But it should lead to them getting rid of it and then being able to get top 4. And bottom experience is a lot, too. Oh, somebody needs to soak that.
That is a huge wave.
Yeah, losing that experience is only going to, lessen the gap that they have from their opponents here. That single-handedly is going to be like a 3/4 level leap, putting them a full level ahead, I think, here over Naventic.
But Naventic will get one of the keep towers, working on a second. Will not clear out that tower. That puts Naventic into 16. They pick up those talents. True Shot Aura for Tyrande to increase the damage of her teammates. Tenacious Roots otherwise, imposing presence for ETC, trying to slow down the attack speed of Karzim, of Tychus.
Justing. Throws out the taunt.
Doesn't even need it.
Cleansing dash there.
The cleanse dash.
The dash cleanse.
Dash cleanse.
There's going to be another one. They're going on to Kenma. Oh my goodness, Polybomb is going to end up hitting 2 people as well.
Resets.
Oh my goodness, still spinning. Now Thompson is on the retreat there, trying to get the frost shots out. Big lunar flare there from Big Impact. 2 people dead though. This is where Team 8, they do Team 8 things. They take everything on the map, paint it their team's color, and make it tough here for Naventic with their lack of wave clear once more.
Starting with the bruisers on the side of Team Naventic, wanting to continue the soak too where they can. That's very important that they continue to get ahead of their opponents. Every single mercenary camp that they can possibly be blue will be blue. Teammate move on up to the top. Medivh's going into the bottom so he can safely soak versus Zeratul there. Now Naventic will have all of their members up. They will not have all their heroic abilities up at the very beginning of this Immortal phase, but soon they will.
I would really like to see more pressure on that top 4 from Team 8 in that downtime. Like, I get denying the Merc camps. I think that's going to be able to help them out. But, some of the experience up on top and opening up that map a little bit more is going to be really huge for them.
Especially if they can get the next Immortal.
Yeah, very much so. So we'll see how it works out. For now, though, they do have that level and a quarter advantage over Naventic. Defensive positioning is going to be the best for them as they move up here. Medivh is not going to be there to join the fight. We instantly see Zuna get a lot of damage. There's going to be the taunt onto B-Kid. The cleanse is used, but the stun of the Immortal kind of its own sundering almost there. Void's going to be used by Zuna there, and the portal's going to be dropped. Justin backs right on out.
That was Naventic's time to have a fight with all the heroic abilities, with everything concerted, and it fell apart so quickly when once again Team 8 using this variant so quick on the taunts to get another kill. And without ETC for several seconds, oh, the bait on Twilight Dream!
It going through the portal. They're very well done. That Twilight Dream is a huge tool for Naventic to win these fights. And the fact that that is going to be down is really going to hurt. The Shaman camp pressuring on to bottom. Nobody on Naventic is looking to get the response. It's going to be ETC up in 7 seconds is going to look for that clear. So will Team 8 get enough damage here onto the Immortal right now to force ETC to stage dive before getting rid of that Shaman camp? Looks like that's not going to be the case. They're just going to be very patient. A big minion wave up on top. Somebody's going to look to soak for Team 8. Try and close the gap there, 220, as they now have all their heroics available and still 3 down for Naventic.
Good for Naventic, though. They forced the swap. It buys them a little bit of time to soak out all the lanes, but still the problem of these long heroic ability timers.
Yeah, this is... Oh man, this is going to be a tough moment. I expect even maybe an Odin. Zuna's flanking, trying to kill Yoda actually in a 1v1. That's a lot of damage, setting him down to half health, but the team's there with the portal. Zuna's looking for those plays. One mistake there by the rookie. That is going to be Yoda, and it might be able to cost him his life.
But Yoda does have the Calamity build too, so in that instance, being able to teleport up to the team, as we saw just there versus B-Kid, stage dive's going to be used on Justing up in the back. He gets cleansed, touched out of 2 bad situations. And once again, just as B-Kid comes in, he gets taken out by Team 8. That gets them closer and closer to level 20. And Team Naventic further away from being able to claim this Immortal phase.
But they're going to Odin. Glaurung gets the reveal there. Kenma ends up getting interrupted on the Twilight Dream. They're off the map objective, and that is going to cost him his life. Zuna now has to blink away. Void is still available, but now Team 8 looks towards the Immortal. They are going to be able to put damage out. Tyrande here just trying to find a way to even escape. Big Impact will be shown mercy today. Will be able to return to his home. Will Zuna, though, doesn't look like it.
But
and that
is on Zuna's tail constantly. No Void.
Yeah, it will be up in
math.
time. I'm doing timers, actually, between the spawning of the map objective and how far it moves down the mini wave.
Yeah.
It takes like anywhere from like 30 to 40 seconds, which means Zuna will be alive roughly at the keep, which means it won't be a potential instant game. I was thinking that was game by Zuna dying there, but because of how slow the Immortal moves and it's got the fort, didn't even think about the fort.
Right.
There's just no way.
So this is going to stop in, take a look at the fort, take it out, and move the Immortal into melee range, which will help with damage for Team Naventic. Naventic only have 50 seconds until Zera comes back up. So Naventic are going to have another place to try to fight. Are they going to fight without 20, though?
I don't think so. But I don't know. With Yoda there, with that 20 at the max range, is only going to make it easier for them to siege and maybe move into the core. For Medivh, actually, oh man, that level 20. It's about to get tough for Naventic. The instant wave clear that Glaurung's going to provide, that split pressure onto the map. Yoda max ranging there, getting damage onto the map objective, ends up dropping the shield.
That's Archon mode right there. As long as teammate protects Yoda, he can just continually throw out disintegrates onto structures. You have to deal with her when that happens. So far, teammate has been pushed back. Team Naventic have kept their hopes in this game alive. But Prismaticism using the big red button, that increased duration, as well as the nukes to start sieging down whatever he possibly can with this Odin. Here comes the next minion wave, and again, the siege goes right back down from Yoda. They're just about to burn the shielding down. Do teammate take this game right here?
They have an opportunity, but again, you have to keep in mind there is a Void on the other side. The Void's going to drop, not land. Oh, only hit one. The blink in is going to happen. Twilight Dream was dropped as well, so all the heroics here for almost both sides, minus the Ed. They still have Wave of Force and Polybomb. Buds is going to dash once. Portal's going to be used, justing with the peel. Everybody nopes right on out through that portal. Maybe join right on back. Polybomb's going to be used on Azuna. I mean, teammates doing their best to bait Naventic, but Naventic learning from the last time they bit right onto that. They're going to back out, but a lot of time wasted by teammate. They had that 20 advantage and they were looking for the play. I think bottom keep was the safer route. Rather than moving into, you know, the top of the core play.
Zuna just gets taunted to oblivion. Tychus is going to go down too, though. This is a 1-for-1. There's no Twilight Dream from Kenma. Buds, does he dash over? He dashes over, still has Hungering Arrow on him. No, that's going to go one more time. It goes to Yoda. He is fine. Buds stays alive.
No,
he dodges the... He's dodged so much right now.
He steps.
He's still alive.
The portal. No, he goes down. That is going to be 2 people here dead. 2-for-1 trade. Justing on the retreat. Kenma has to bolt upwards. What is happening? Everybody all over the place. They're going to back out. They're going to back out.
That gives Naventic 20. And Immortals.
It does give a huge advantage on the Immortals. Catapults are always something to be feared. But with that pressure on the camp onto the top, it's not going to make anything happen. We're going to kick off the halftime show here with the Naventic in a couple of seconds.
Okay, so B-Kid still holding on to his level 20. At this point, Death Metal is still an option. You can get that even though you haven't taken Mosh Pit. Or it could be Bolt to do a Bolt power slide if he wants to go for that approach. So keep an eye on what he picks there at 20.
It's got to be Death Metal. I don't think there's any way he doesn't Death Metal. But maybe. Oh man, tense moment here. We have no Karazim on the side of teammate. The Immortal sitting with only 3,000 HP is going to be easily poked down here. And that might be a almost full shield Immortal for Naventic. Buds just spawned. You see Glaurung there trying to get the scout zoning around. 2 catapults building up on top.
Everyone's keeping an eye on all of the sneaky locations around their Immortal because Team Naventic have been more than happy to sacrifice a life here or there to make the magic happen and get the Immortal. Here comes an Odin with big red button. All the damage is being put onto this Immortal at once. If nothing else, teammate at least want to stop the shielding from this. Zuna gets stopped in the process of going up to the Immortal in top. So does Vala. That's going to be a Void Prison, 3-man Void Prison. Here comes Kenma.
He's got a bolt over. Twilight Dream ends up hitting only 2 at that point. 7-side strike. Now he's in a tough position.
He goes down fast.
My goodness. 3 catapults still on top. 85%, 80% health. 75 for Naventic at their core. Vala's going to be able to back out there, setting it down to 50. But with losing Kenma and the backing of Vala, this is going to be a dead Immortal pretty quickly here on the top half. They're moving towards bottom keep because they realize they are not going to make much happen on top, and somebody has to answer here towards that Immortal. So a keep on bottom should be a going over to Naventic. We'll see if they manage to make the plays. Rest of the teammate moves down. Never seen that combo before.
Gone. Obliterated. No Zeratul, no Malfurion. Immortal moves on to the keep. This will take down the keep. Justin dives in just to be knocked right back out. This has been more about Varian pinball than I may have ever seen this game.
And he's just getting knocked around, man. Feels bad. All right, so now while 2 people are dead, specifically mainly 1, Zeratul, will we see teammate focus that bottom keep now? It looks like that's where they're going to be going. Medivh has instant wave clear on his own. So the minions are merely, you know, they aren't even a problem. It's just wait for it. There it is. All right, that wave was gone.
And we have Archon mode too.
Yeah, 23 seconds for Zeratul to be able to spawn. Void won't even be up, or Void will be up, excuse me. There's Yoda with the Archon mode. Portal's been laid. 50%. If this keep goes down, that's pretty much game. Mainly just based on the fact that there's very few tools for Naventic to back out, get rid of the base pressure, and then return to the Immortals. But it stands. The keep lives another day.
Yeah, but teammates Bruisers push that lane, so they could go down Khazra Bruisers or even just Bruisers.
That's true.
Get those. Know that Naventic has to deal with it, has to keep that keep alive. And that puts them in a better position and setup for the Immortal, which has been the issue for teammate this game, is how fast Team Naventic can poke down and take out the Immortals. This game is in such a crazy place. 28 minutes on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, it is. It is a very interesting game, and honestly, I didn't think Naventic would have the ability to be able to push the game this late. Medivh has cleared a few waves on bottom. The camp's going to be captured here. The keep will be cleared and stand again. The Shaman camp up on top might be something that teammate looks for in a moment, but in the end, it's going to only move to core. And it really just doesn't do that much other than escorting catapults to be valuable. It will be able to suicide, but Glarung made his way up there. And it's not like you can look at those catapults because Glarung now with that level 20 talent, having the opportunity to just one-shot a mini-wave, minions aren't impressive anymore. Catapults, you know, normally buy a little bit of time. Not going to be the story today. Cleanse already forced.
All right, tense moment for these teams. This is a 29-minute Immortal phase, and 1 keep remains on either side, but it is low. These teams have to win this fight. Naventic, though, more than anything, to stay in the series. Teammate are up 2 games in this series. If they win this right now, they will be done. There comes the Portal as well as Justing. Kenma has an ice block, but is it enough? He bolts away and stays alive at 7-sided strike, obliterates ETC.
Yeah, and Justing is now looking for more here in this situation, and that was honestly just textbook. I wish, to give a whole rundown on why that team fight just went the way that it was, but Team 8 here is putting on a clinic, just baiting out cooldowns, waiting it out, waiting for one missed position. Again, the Portal variant. In fact, it was Kenma that time, and it was enough. Now Yoda, he's going to take a bit of damage there. Buds on the backline. Zuna and Kenma just gets deleted there by Justing. The Shaman camp on the bottom half of the map is going to get this keep in a couple of seconds. They all go through the portal, the body block, the taunts. Polymorph, 3 men dead. Zuna now making a desperation play. The good shield with the diamond skin. He vorpals, he gets the kill. Silver lining, but you know, this is game-losing deaths here at this point now for Naventic.
There is not much left for Team Naventic. If anything, a Soul Tyrande. ETC up in a couple of seconds. Immortal taking a long time for teammate to clear out, but slowly they are getting to the point. The keep is gone. There's nothing left for defenses of Team Naventic. They know it. They go in for a desperation move. B-Kid with the Starfall from Big Impact. He will knock Varian into some stuns. Starfall as well. Odin comes out. Prismaticism says, enough, I will take this Immortal.
Yeah, well, you know, Prismaticism's more concerned about the kills than he is anything else. Buying time is in the best interest of Naventic, but to be honest, a Immortal with this much HP and shielding, even if all of Naventic all clear it from the minute it spawns, it's still going to probably make it to core. And this thing hits for like 12% at the core's health. So here it is. Okay, so if you are Naventic though, what do you look for? You have to move past the boss. You can't use Void.
Don't use Void.
You have to save Void for your core so you can try and kill the map objective while it's wailing at a non-existent core. So you actually have to move past the map objective, force a fight, which we see them doing, or attempting, whereas the rest of, you know, they're faking the back door or they're going for the back door, and all,
Teammate are fine waiting that out.
They're totally...
They understand that's the only way they lose this game.
Yeah, they are. All right, Naventic's got to go for it. Desperation play. Death Metal might be, you know, a cool story. It's not going to land on anybody. Void's going to be used there on to 2 members. Twilight Dream drops. 2 members dead for Naventic. Core is not even going to be touched when it comes to the shields, at least not yet. And that looks like that is going to be it. Naventic falls here. 2 teammate, 3-2-0.
Teammate takes out the core. They came in with a new member right before the HGC. They surprised everyone. They take out Naventic, and they just qualified for the Western Clash at IEM Katowice.
Very well done.
That has got to be making them feel so good. Glaurung comes in with this team, Justing and Buds. We've known them for their time on Team Name Change, but never able to really bust outside of that top 8 spot within. They have a brand new player in Yoda. Prismat comes in. He's been shuffled through some teams too, and he and Glaurung now, they take this team all the way to the Western Clash. Man, that is so impressive.
Yeah, the only time we've actually seen anywhere near, like, close to the story, especially for players like Yoda, would be like, you know, June. The fact is showing up